have a song for the show?
Show already started. Fix the camera.
The show didn't start.
It started.
What's the song? Why don't you tell me?
Why don't you listen to it?
I can't, because the show hasn't started.
It started.
I'm not listening.
I'm not even if you don't want.
It's not even a good song. Whatever this song is.
It's a good song.
How the hell is it not loaded? I can't hear it.
I don't know.
This song sucks.
Do you know what song it is?
No.
It's the New York stage from Twisted Metal 2. This song is fucking good.
What was the New York stage?
The one where you fucking fall off every 2 seconds because it's all skyscrapers.
Oh, you can like break through the windows and
Of
shit
course.
too, right?
That stage
yeah.
is too good, man. Way too
Damn. I don't remember too much of the music from that game.
Dude, it had such great... You know what? I'm going to put on another song that I really loved. Just because this game had fucking great music.
Why don't we just make this a show?
Yeah, that could be like a show, I guess. Anyway, this fucking song is great, too. This is the Earthquake, Los Angeles post-earthquake stage.
Oh, that was my favorite stage.
Of course. Anyway, fuck all this shit. Boom. Internet. Let me turn this shit off. Hey, what's up, Internet? How you guys doing? We got the thing in the middle here with these clowns on the Internet. I put no restrictions for connection quality because since I'm not playing, I don't really give a shit. So they're having a ton of fun in there, I suppose. It's Thursday, Internet. Thanks for joining us. You're watching ATP Live. My name's Aris. I'm joined by Ricky. What's up, Ricky?
Doing good. What's up?
Excellent. So yeah, Twisted Metal 2, fucking sick game. I really enjoyed that one. Charles over there in the room next door, I used to terrorize this guy in that one. He's an outlaw player. Big mistake when you're facing against him.
Outlaw's the dude on the motorcycle?
No, dude, Outlaw's the fucking cop, man. Put 2 and 2 together. Outlaw.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Who the hell was the dude on the motorcycle? Though?
Grim. He sucks
that dude
ass.
that dude always got ran over. He was so worthless.
Charles in the chat. Dude, he knows it, man, because he picked Outlaw and because it had that easy homing super. But I had Axel, man. I was fucking him up. 100% combos? He couldn't sleep at night. That shit was too good, man. That was a great game. Anyway, so I had some topics lined up. Oh, yeah. You know what? People are really kind of bent out of shape about Tekken Resolute getting new characters. I was kind of surprised because, usually when they announce characters for shit, it's because people are going to get hype. Otherwise, they just release them. But people are not getting hype. People are kind of like, what the fuck happened to a short roster and all that stuff. And I'm kind of thinking that's kind of peculiar. What are your thoughts, Ricky? Do you even give a fuck about that game? Because another aspect is it seems like there are people that play it and there are people that just don't give a fuck. Which one are you?
I know there are a lot of people that play it. I'm not that guy. I haven't played it since they got new characters, I think. The first new batch of new characters.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that, I don't like the game or anything. It's just, there's Tag 2 out, and I'd rather play that. I mean, if there was no Tag 2, I'd be playing that game, I'm sure. But, it's just not interesting to me. But, I mean, them adding content for no money, I mean, what's there to get mad about? They're constantly going to add stuff, and you're not paying for it unless you're, buying coins or whatever.
Well, but I think the logic is that they want it to be a small roster so that perhaps an experienced player won't feel so overwhelmed. Because I guess some people say, and I can agree, that Tekken Tag 2 has way too many characters. So perhaps they're thinking the solution is that the next Tekken should have way less. And I totally agree with that. I would like for the next real Tekken game to have way less. But this game is kind of like in the middle. I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's clear that they made it easier. So maybe it's like the Tekken for new players to play until there's another Tekken for new players to play. Because Tekken Tag 2 is not the one for new players to play,
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, let's face it. You know how everyone says, there are some people that say, oh, you're just bitching. Tekken Tag 2 is not that hard. You just have to practice, whatever. The proof is in the pudding. The original Tekken Tag 2 didn't have solo mode. They put solo mode in because of the catastrophic response the game got when it was released in arcades in Japan and Korea from the local random people that thought it was too hard. So they added solo mode. So that in itself, to me, says that the guys that made the game are waving the white flag saying, okay, we agree, you're right, this is hard. And if you go back even further, when the game was in development, I remember I had a short conversation with can't believe I don't remember his name. Oh yeah, Mishima Star. And he said that in its current state, the game is so hard that nobody can even play it. Like, he can't even complete his own combos because it was too hard. And that was at the time when there wasn't a pause during a tag assault. It would just happen in full speed, full game speed. There wasn't like that big, bounding big explosion thing that we currently have. So it's clear to me that when the game was even initially being developed, that it was hard. And it's been like a long process on seeing how we can make it easier. So the next step was, okay, it looks like they've canceled the what the fuck revolution thing, and they brought us Tekken Resolute. And now we have this free game for the new players. So I guess that's the logic, but I don't know. I mean, new characters in this game isn't really that big of a deal because there's no tournaments, there's no offline versus, so why not? It's just all being added in. I support it. I don't see why anyone would be against it. It's not like a real Tekken game where we're going to have like tournaments and like, you're even going to be able to see legitimate offline lagless matches. It's never going to happen. So it really is more of like a for fun if you're a veteran. If you're a really old guy veteran, then you probably love it because you hate all the bullshit in tag. And if you're a brand new player, you're probably going to like it a lot more than tag because it's way easier and simpler. So I like it overall. I don't play it that much because, just like you said, Ricky, we have Wednesday Night Fights here. We have a purpose to play Tekken Tag 2. But if you're out there in, Taiwan or whatever, New Zealand or some shit, and you have no scene and you have no amigos that play offline and all you do is play online, I don't see why you wouldn't play Tekken Revolution. Right?
I don't know why you called out Taiwan and New Zealand when I'm pretty sure those are the places that are actually going to the world tournament.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well let's pick more.
You gotta say like
remote.
Montana and North Dakota. All those
are
twangy
states. I was looking for countries.
Canada.
I guess, yeah, that's a pretty big barren place. So yeah, there's Canadian players, but I can assume that one of them is going to be in whatever Montreal and the other one's going to be in Quebec or whatever, and they're not going to be able to play offline versus. So if they're that far apart, you might as well play Tekken Resolute. That's the way I see it. Move forward. This is the new one. But if you have a scene like us, I mean, I have no real reason to play Resolute other than collecting tickets because I love that shit. Other than that, I every time I play it, I think to myself, I could be learning something or developing something to play in tournaments, which really, to me, is what it's all about. If there's no tournaments, there's no Aris, so that's how it goes for me. And I think you're kind of the same, right, Ricky? I mean, if there were no tournaments, would you even play these games?
I've always been more of a competitive person, so like I want to play what people are gonna be playing in tournaments. So if there's no Tag 2 tournament, I don't think I'd be playing.
Yeah. And this is a totally side note that just came to my mind. I said it yesterday when I was doing commentary at Wednesday Night Fights, but you got to play multiple games. Ricky is very good at playing multiple games. Lots of people around here are because we have a scene where we can go weekly and play the popular ones. So it's extremely important. I just highly recommend it. I always stress it to people. Don't be one of those bitches that's like, oh, I only like Tekken. Even if you only like Tekken, if you really like Tekken and want to get better at it, it's a good idea to play other games to add depth to the way you see Tekken. Because those games are so simple, they can often enlighten you in a complex game like Tekken. So totally a side note, but that's what came to mind right there. Anyway, I wrote down a couple of things I wanted to talk about other than Tekken Resolute. First of all, I can't believe all these people are talking shit about the new RoboCop. That shit looks really cool to me. I mean, Gary Oldman and Michael Keaton? And the black guy from Snakes on a Plane? What's his name? Cool J? Cool
What?
Fox, Samuel
I
J.
haven't-
Fox, Samuel L. Fox.
Samuel J. Fox. Who the hell are these people you naming
What's
me?
his name? Samuel L. Jackson. That's
Jackson.
it. Samuel J. Fox.
Samuel Jamie Fox? Are you
Anyway,
Michael J. Fox?
no, dude, that's a really sick cast of people. I mean, you can't beat Gary Oldman. That guy's a killer. Anyway, I'm excited about it. Plus, it looks cool. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Who
I haven't
cares
seen
if
the
it's
trailer
not
yet,
NC-17? People are. Someone in the chat earlier said that they were like, everyone's talking shit because the original one was NC-17 and the new one's not going to be gory enough, so they're like, whatever. Let's face it, the movie's going to fucking suck 8 dicks anyway. But at least it's going to have some solid actors and probably like a machine gun or two. I hope he still drives a Ford Taurus. That was like the coolest car. I mean, Ford Taurus? It's like a grandma's car. Yet RoboCop was drifting in that shit, and when the criminals saw him, they were like, "Oh fuck, it's RoboCop and the Taurus." They were not having that shit. So that was a tight movie, man. I'm really excited. I guess I'm just kind of old, but that's like the only cool trailer I've seen in forever, dude. So I'm amped about that. Anyway, other topics. Have you seen that shit? Go watch the trailer right now.
I'm not gonna do it during the show.
Is it like against the rules, you think, for me to show the trailer?
Probably.
You think so?
I would probably advise against it.
Damn. The internet. Well, anyway, go check it out. It's pretty cool, especially if you're old. I thought that was cool. Anyway, so you do any reading, Ricksta? Reading, Ricksta? Should be a show.
I haven't read it in a while.
No? You ever do
Yeah.
any reading?
Yeah, when I was like 12. Berenstain Bears, man.
You need to read a fucking book, dude.
The last book I probably read was The Hardy Boys.
Yeah, man. Charles is always talking shit to me because I don't read anything. Like when I'm doing a tutorial in a new game, I'm just like XXX, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But like, at least I've read a few, man. You got to read a couple books. I wanted to recommend some books to the internet. I have a few that I think are really good, and they actually relate to fighting games and shit. So I wanted to do that, but since you're so uneducated, I guess you could just sit there.
I'll take a shit. Whatever. No, the one book I did read when I was like, obviously it's the main book that I think everyone should read when they're trying to get into competitive anything.
Which one? Playing to Win by David Derlin?
No, I don't read that. Well, I mean, I did read
I
that
own
too.
that book. I own that book. I bought it.
He made a book?
Yeah, he made an actual book. I mean,
I mean, all the philosophies in that was based off the Art of War. So and that's what I read.
Not only.
So.
I mean, he does attempt to make analogies with a lot of different games. And tries to explain like the Art of War to like the average gamer. But the thing is that the Art of War is so really simply written anyway that it doesn't really need that much explanation. So it ends up being like a pretty just long book of David Serlin, like what up, playa, just talking about stuff he likes and stuff. Which none of it's incorrect. I can agree with a lot of it, but
you should make that book.
No, I bought it because I like the idea of someone writing a book like that. That's a brilliant idea, and I don't think anyone's done it since. So I think that's really cool. For those of you who don't know, David Serlin is a fighting game player. He's like an old school guy that used to play maybe Champion Edition or one of those old-ass games, and he's pretty much washed up now, but back then, he was decent. Watson will tell you otherwise, but he was decent, and he wrote a book. It's called Playing to Win. And it's basically like applying the philosophies in Sun Tzu's The Art of War, which is a book that if you haven't read, you should definitely, you're fucking up. But basically, he applies those philosophies to games that are played. And it's not just fighting games. He uses a lot of fighting games, but he talks about StarCraft. He talks about Counter-Strike. He just uses all kind. Yeah, he also makes card games. Charles is right in the chat. He makes card games now and like stuff like that. But I bought his book and I like it, and I mean it's a book you could check out. I'm interested in that one. But one of the main books that I was gonna recommend, other than The Art of War, which if you haven't read is ridiculous, but the Book of Five Rings. I always talk about that. That book is fucking good. Now, if you have read The Art of War, you should know that that book is really based on defense and not taking any risks at any costs. Like, if you only know 70% of the enemy's, like, resources, then you should not engage him because it's not a guaranteed victory. And, like, it's that kind of thing. Very, very safe. Don't take any risks. If it's a trap, you should always assume it's a trap. That's basically the kind of philosophy that book takes. And if you read that and then go to the Book of Five Rings, which is written by Miyamoto Musashi, you'll see a huge contrast. Now, both of these books are about strategy, about, like, not so much warfare, since the Musashi book is more about, like, hand-to-hand combat, but it's about strategy and applying strategy to win, right? But Musashi's book, which is the Book of Five Rings, is actually way more offense-oriented and confidence-oriented. So, like, his whole philosophy revolves around training to achieve this, like, perfect omnipotent level, and once you have reached it, you can't be beaten. And if the opponent is showing you a trap or, like, a bait, and you discover that it's a trap, that's enough information for you to create an opening with that. Like, even if his sword is to 1 inch to the left, since you're perfect, you'll destroy him every time, So he has this, like, very attack first type of philosophy, and I think it's really a good contrast and also very correct. So if you read those two books, I think they really help a lot with your game, with your Tekken game or your Street Fighter game or your fucking chess game or your cooking skills or your driving skills. All these books, in case you don't know, are, even in the opening statements of the books, oftentimes, depending on what translations you read, there is a part that says, oh, this book has been used by Fortune 500 companies to train their employee, blah, 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 who gives a fuck. The point is that it's really effective on all aspects of life. You can apply it anywhere. So I highly recommend those two books. And there is two more I'm going to recommend. One of which I have not read. So it's on my to-do list whenever I get around to reading another book. This is the next one I want to read. It's The Unfettered Mind. I don't know who wrote it. I guess I could look it up right now. Hey, Ricky, say some shit while I do that.
I want to look it up, dude. You talk.
All right, look it up.
How do you even spell it?
Oh, God.
What is it even called?
Unfettered Mind. It's called Samuel F. Jack or whatever I called him earlier. Fox?
Michael J. Jackson, dude.
No, I called him Samuel F. Fox or some shit. Whatever. Anyway,
Writings from a Zen master to a master swordman.
That might be it. Anyway, that book was recommended. What is it? Let me look it up. I think Charo put it in the chat. Let me see. It's probably some dildo. That would be so tight. It was like some Great American Challenge double-sided dildo, and I hella fell for it. He wishes he thought of that shit right now. I can almost hear him like, fuck, I should have thought of that. Anyway.
It's Taku on Soho.
Yeah, so this book was recommended to me many years ago by W.C. Maxey. And he's a philosophy major, and he's very much into these types of philosophy-style strategy books. And, he really recommended this one, and I've heard a lot of good things about this one. So I haven't read this one yet, but I know it's good, so I can recommend that. Another book that I highly recommend is, and you wouldn't really expect for this to be a good book as it relates to fighting games, but I really do think it is, and that's The Prince, Machiavelli's Prince. That book is pretty fucking good. It's really hard to read, and a simpleton like you, Rixta, would really struggle with it. But if you can...
I finished it in one night.
Yeah, sure you did. Anyway, it's a really good book. It's really fucking hard to read because it's like written in that old-ass, weird Italian-ass fucking, may thy quench thy thirst fucking weird-ass shit. But if you can get through all that and absorb the important parts, it really teaches you how to win and also how to, ignore the ethics involved with winning and just obtain what you want, which is a win, basically. If you're playing in tournaments, you want to win. So this is definitely a solid read if you can, if you can swallow the bullshit. It's pretty hard to swallow. It's a chunky salsa, extra chunky. It's pico de gallo, It's pico. It's not even salsa, just a bunch of chunks of stuff that's good when you mix it together. So, that's another one that I recommend. Do you have any books? The newest issue of Highlights magazine is pretty cool. It has a coloring book.
Dude, that one helped. That helped me, know my colors, man.
You've never thought, the reason most people I know have gone to books like this to improve their game is because they feel like they've hit a wall and they're not improving for a long period of time. Usually that's why people go to books like this, to kind of open their mind and make them see what's wrong, with their game. You've never considered this, or are you just like, who gives a shit, I just want to play games?
I mean, I have. That's the reason why I read The Art of War. That was the only reason why I read The Art of War.
Right.
Was because of fighting games, And I mean, I'm sure it helps. It's just, I'm lazy.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well, those are the ones I wanted to recommend. Thanks for contributing to that.
I'm actually gonna read those books. Maybe not.
You're
all
not
of
gonna
them,
read shit. You're gonna read them on your first stream. You're gonna stream them. Book reading by Rick Stubb.
Oh, that would be so
that
sick.
would be super sick. Like fucking
just reading to the stream
what's
chat.
What's that damn fucking guy's name? The guy Jim Carrey played him in the movie. The comedian that read The Great Gatsby for the crowd. The fucking guy. Anyway, who gives a fuck? The point is, you definitely should stream.
Bruce Almighty?
It's like super way off. Andy Kaufman. Thank you. RU_swag. Andy Kaufman. You could be like the new Andy Kaufman. Just like stream yourself in like a suit. Just like reading The Great Gatsby or The Book of Five Rings or whatever. That'd be tight. Or you could just stand there and play the book on CD.
Oh, that would be sick.
I think it would be all right.
I'll probably fall asleep, like Charlie Brown reading The War and Peace.
Man,
could be me.
Charlie Brown, huh? Tight. Anyway, another thing that I was thinking about earlier today that I thought would be interesting for people is, so recently I've obtained a smartphone, and through this smartphone I've done a lot of interesting things. One of which being using its apps for actual like real life purposes. Like Charo uses a budgeting app, right? And so blah 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 blah. Eventually, I thought, all these assholes outside while I'm on a smoke break are on their phones. What are they doing, right? I look over the screen and it's Puzzles and Dragons. So I end up getting addicted to fucking Puzzles and Dragons and hating that shit, right? So I decided that I would shake free of that and apply something useful. And recently I found out that there are a lot of brain exercise types of games on the smartphone. And they also like have a record keeping type of a thing and an improvement tracking type of shit. So that shit is really cool. And one website that I tried out today that I really thought was sick, I saw a commercial for it, which is just like the commercial I saw for that thing I was telling you about before the show. What is that thing called? Some shit?
Well,
oh, yeah. Okay, that's top secret. Okay.
We got money.
I got you. All right. Anyway, this website is called Lumosity, and it's just like a simple website where they like train different parts of your brain, right? And most of them are like whatever when it comes to fighting games, but this has a couple that actually are really good, like speed and reflex tests. And I was just talking to Vietnam Tom about this outside the arcade. So that guy turned like 33 yesterday, right, at Wednesday Night Fights.
Yeah.
And so he's 33 years old. He's got a 3-year-old
Damn, and
daughter.
he fucked up Tim, huh?
Yeah, on his birthday. Boom! That was sick. Anyway, I mean, he's an old man, let's face it. 33, it's time for retirement when it comes to fighting games. But he still loves it. And he still comes to every Wednesday Night Fights. And I love that shit, right? But he comes to me and he's saying, I'm getting old. My reflexes are worse, And I'm trying to explain to him, just like all these other fucking people that complain about their age, that reflexes are a trainable skill. there are a ton of old ass dudes that are running fucking marathons and shit. I just heard about some 65-year-old woman that swam from Cuba to Florida and her tongue was all fucked up by the time she got there. 65 years old. I couldn't do that. Could you do that, Ricky? You can't even fucking swim. You look like you're made of cement. There's no way you could do that.
I can swim.
I doubt it.
I got that.
Unlikely.
I got that.
Yeah, you're a regular mermaid.
Tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm swimming to Cuba from California
in one night while reading reading The Prince by Machiavelli. I got you.
Dude.
Anyway, point being.
Yeah, I also heard like her face was all like puffy because she got like stung stuff.
Far past tense of sting. Yeah, stang.
She got stung by like hella shit in the sea.
Yeah.
Like, doing that shit.
In the face. Anyway, the point is not only that you go senile after the age of 60, but you also, with training, can do all kinds of fucked up shit that you're not supposed to do when you're old. So, there is no excuse. You can't use your bad reflexes as an excuse. If you really care, you can train them. There are a lot of ways to train them. Rip has made a throw break trainer. And that's, that's cool. There's a lot of shit like this Lumosity site that I like it because you register, it's free, and like it keeps track of all the progress. I like progress. Like it's the thing that makes you play all those fucked up games like Puzzles and Dragons. Those games, the point is progress, And I was thinking like, man, this game really fucking got me, man. I'm over here wasting my time playing it, and really it's just an illusion of progress. And these brain training games these days, they have that shit too. So personally speaking, I'm super glad that I'm on this type of stuff now instead of fucking Puzzles and Dragons, or I downloaded some other Dungeon Hunter 5000 or some shit. Man, all these Viking Wars, Valkyrie Chronicles, everyone's recommending a new one to me, and they're all heaping curly piles of dog shit. Waste of time. But there is a solution, and that's these games. I'm totally all about that shit right now. So,
I see how long that lasts.
You don't think I'm in it for the long haul? This is brilliant, man. Why the fuck would I not do that? I don't know if you know, Ricky, but I don't know if I've told you or not, but I used a weight loss app to help me lose fucking 80 pounds. I mean, it's really...
No, I remember you told me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if that shit... Look, I weigh 80 pounds less. There's no question about that. That is a hard fact. And I used that app. It happens to be called, like, Lose It or some shit. I used that app to lose the weight. I mean, literally, this is a result. I could be on their fucking commercial. I used it, right? So...
Oh man, smiling and posing like this.
Yeah, like Bugs Bunny and shit. Anyway, I mean, like my point is, these apps actually do work, is what I'm saying. If you use a budget app, it'll help you fucking budget. If you use a weight loss app, it'll help you lose weight. If you just take it seriously. So the point is that if you're concerned with your reflexes, if you're getting older and you realize that you're getting slower at things that you used to do easily, like those low parries or ducking under Shaolin kicks, I'm speaking from fucking experience over here. I used to, in Tekken 5 DR, and Charles is my witness. He's going to troll me right now, but I used to do partial hit Demo Man, like low hit, block, and then sidewalk. Ricky's mom's calling him. Your grilled cheese is ready.
What up?
Nothing. I wasn't talking shit about you or anything.
Fuck you.
Anyway, I lost my train of thought.
You talking about, you being the new Subway Jared or something.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so just put my check in the mail, and that's about it. Check it out, man. If you want to get better at, things that you want to get better at, there's resources. This is the future. It's not just going to the arcade anymore. You can train for these things outside of the game. One other example of this is I remember when Mike Ross used to totally just be like a sucky guy who sucked at everything and, was just a guy that I knew for years. And I would see him at the arcade and be like, hey, what's up, Mike Ross? You're not good at anything, but I like you. That was that guy for years. But I remember he said that he used to practice 100 hands on his desk at school. I mean, that's like really interesting, the concept of that, right? You can practice things in the game away from the game. Like Demo Man stuff where it's like timing based, rhythm based.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that you can practice when you're away from the game. And there are resources, not only like Rip's Throw Break Trainer, but also, you know, like these apps, dude. I'm like loving this shit. There's a million different ones. You know, when I find the one I like, I'm gonna like get a paid version of it because, you know, it sounds sick. It's a brilliant idea. I highly recommend it. It's really cool. It's going to train your reflexes. You're going to get better at Tekken or any fighting game that involves reflexes and reaction time. And it doesn't matter how old you are. That's such a fucking stupid cop-out. It just means you don't really care enough. You know, it's like fucking Al Bundy scoring 4 touchdowns in a game. You know, whatever. You could do that now if you wanted. It's not even a physical thing. You don't have to fucking move. You know, so...
Okay, Curly. That
Whoa. Anyway, so that's pretty much all the stuff that I had to talk about. I was thinking, unless you have any ideas on topics, I was thinking maybe we could do a questions and answers for both of us from the chat before we end up calling people bitches and stuff. It's been a short show, but this could be muy bagusta. Oh, yoo-hoo. Let me click that link. I swear I'm the only reason these links still exist on Twitch because I keep giving them hella ad revenue.
No, dude, they're getting more blatant with it. It's like, come watch me, and then this link, and then in the end, it's like star tits. It's like that's not even like, hey, what's up? It's like tits.
My favorite is the yoo-hoo in caps.
It's like, damn, all right.
I can almost hear it. I can almost hear it. Anyway, so internet, let's see if I could do this. Might be a bad idea, but fuck it. Boom. Oh, that didn't work. Anyway,
what did you do?
I tried to make the internet bigger, but that didn't work out. Anyway, you guys have any questions that you'd like Rickster or I to answer? I'll keep a close eye. Give me a moment.
Whoa.
How do you go about studying your characters? Okay. So that's 2 questions in one. I'll let you answer that one, Ricky. How do you go about studying your characters? I assume he means the ones you use.
What do you mean, like studying a new character or studying a character you already like?
That's an excellent question. Refine that one.
Know.
Refine the question.
Because well, we can do both. It's like, you know, when you start with a new character, for me personally, I like to learn their combos first because this is specifically with Tekken, but if I know I can do their combos and it's not hard, then I know my damage, my major damage will be easy, you know, because I can do the combos. That's why it's hard for me to play Nina right now because her combos are really hard for me right now. So I have to keep practicing it if I really want to play her. But it's like once you get that, then you have to deal with everything else, like the best moves for that character and how to use those moves, and then you can just expand from there. When it comes to a character that you're already used to, though, like, you know, for me, Ganny and Bob, like, that just comes with, you know, like, for me, I have a core set of moves that I like to use, and then there are moves that I use for certain situations, and there's moves that I know that I never use. And those moves that I never use, I always, like, if I really want to use them, I force myself in every game. Like, if I'm playing as someone random and I know I need to use this move, I force myself to use that move at least twice, 3 times around. So I can implement it into my game. I know that I have that move. And you just have to force yourself to use it. It's definitely not the best way to do it, but you know, that's the only way I can get myself to use, you know, a move that I think is good.
Interesting. I agree with you on the starting a new character for sure. In Tekken, because combos are so important, you gotta practice the combos first. I mean, it's what everyone does naturally anyway. If you're thinking of picking up a new character or team, the best thing to do is find out the best combos for that team. If they are not available, then you better hope you either know someone like Mr. Naps or you are very creative and figure out what you have to do to execute those characters' combos every time. That's just like extremely important. Moving on from that, I mean, if you've already selected the character, that means that you really like the character, so you want to use them for some reason. And if you can get past the combos, which Ricky said he couldn't do with Nina, then the next step is understanding how you're going to start the combos. The combos themselves have launchers. The launchers need to be set up with other things. That's what the other things are there for. You can't just do launcher all day unless you're Jinpachi. And even Jinpachi, you have to find the right moments to use it, and there are other tools that you have to implement. So basically, my strategy is when you pick a new character, and my strategy in Tekken Tag 2 is changing a lot. My theories on this game are changing a lot, but I'll stick to Tekken Tag 2. I think that in Tekken Tag 2, the best way to learn a character after you learn the combos is to look at the launchers and the moves that are going to produce the most damage, and then try and understand what you need to set those moves up. So, in the case of Jinpachi, obviously he's got a ton of power mids, right? So power mids are going to need lows. So obviously the complementary moves to those power mids, which in some cases are launchers like down forward 1+2, you're going to look at the lows. So then you need to examine the lows extremely carefully, as well as the throws extremely carefully. So this is what I mean. The character, it almost sends you in a direction based on what they're very good at. So like if you look at Dragunov's best move is running 2, right? So if running 2 is his best move, then you have to look at how you can set up running 2, and then what you can do after running 2 on block, and then on hit, and then after the combo on counter hit. So once you've learned all these things, basically you have a game plan. Like, it's a very simple one, but you have your moves that you set up running 2 with, you have the moves that you do after on block and hit, and then you have your Okuzemi for the combo. So basically, you kind of know how to play Dragunov. That's like the way it works. You picked up the character. All you need is one basic strategy to start with, and then you branch off of that. The thing that you said about, forcing yourself to use moves, and then more importantly, you said something about there are some moves that I'll never use, right? Mm-hmm. For me, initially, when I was first starting to play fighting games, I really wanted to believe that there is a use for every move. And one of my favorite fighting game players of all time, Joe King, who was a Tekken Tag 1 player, he told me in like the first conversation that I had with him, which ended up being a great, dope, philosophical conversation, that he thinks that every move does have a use. And if you're not applying them in some way, you're just not thinking open-minded enough. And I really want to think that's true, but man, some moves are just fucking useless, and it's hard to think that way, especially in Tekken Tag 2. In Tekken 6, I felt like I used almost every move with Dragunov. Every move. Like, the only one I didn't really use was up forward 2. Every other move had some perfect purpose, even the ones that were weird and like not the uses were not obvious. But in Tekken Tag 2, and this is what I meant when I said, the game is, my philosophy on the game is very different. In Tekken Tag 2, I think this is a minimalist game. So less is more. To me, it seems like the best players are cutting out massive parts of their move list. The best players are applying simple, very basic, very Tekken rulebook styles of gameplay and relying on good defense and good knowledge of the opponent's options. So, that's the way you have to win in Tekken Tag 2. It's very, for lack of a better word, stiff. The game doesn't really allow you to be too creative in your play style at the highest level. At the highest level, you kind of have to play by the book and squeak in a little fancy pants shit every rarely now and then. But generally speaking, it's all just fucking, math. It's all by the book, spacing, by the book, whiff punishing, throw breaking, block punishing, and all that shit. Do you agree with that, Ricky? I hope you don't completely disagree. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, with I think with certain players, they're better off sticking to basic stuff, not trying to get too fancy because it just wouldn't fit their play style. I think with a lot of like Korean players, like the ones that, like Knee and JDCR, like they play, it seems like whenever they play any characters, if, like you see Knee play all these random characters, and it's just like, why does he know how to play these characters? When you watch it, really, he doesn't really know how to play them.
Right.
He just knows this move's good, this move's good, this move's good. This is her launcher, this is their launcher, and this is my damage. It's like after that, and then it's it's all super basic, and he's still getting wins because he has the fundamentals down. And I think that, in a sense, is really good. I think when you get to a point with your characters, though, it's always good to have like little tricks here and there.
Mhm.
But yeah, the fundamentals and just the core basics is always going to be better. I think definitely for this game, because there's so much to have to remember anyways that implementing something like like a stupid tech trap or something like that is might not be good if you forget how to punish something that's
Right,
minus 16.
right. I feel like a lot of those like little fancy pants things that they throw in, really they aren't even fancy pants shit. It's just their knowledge of that very specific situation. And to the average player, it looks like some dope setup, but he just knew that was going to happen and he knew to do this in that situation. And it just made it look dope to a random guy. But to him, it was like, yeah, I've been in that situation a million times. And the thing you mentioned about Nee playing a bunch of different characters is one of the interesting things about what Tekken has become. In a previous episode, we talked about how all characters are almost the same in Tekken Tag 2. And I think in this game system, it becomes really like players like Nee are going to be really fucking hard to beat. Because if you're good at Tekken, you're better than the best Dragunov player, even if you don't play Dragunov. Like, it doesn't matter what character you use. You're better. It's beyond character. It's become a more umbrella type of a thing. It doesn't matter what character you use. You just pick a character, and that's why people like Rip are able to succeed with Paul, because all he needs is a hop kick and a couple of jabs and a down forward too. And it's like, okay, he's getting somewhere. Now, if you're a better player like Nee, boom. I said Nee. I didn't say me.
I heard
said,
me.
Oh, well, that's true, too. But if you're a better player like Nee, Kenny, like the appendage,
Okay.
yeah, that guy, you're going to be, like, way over the top. You could just learn the character and immediately apply your Tekken knowledge and defensive knowledge of that character to playing, So, in a sense, that's kind of a shitty thing to me. And I definitely have something else that I want to recommend for people to check out. This guy, John Chimpo, on Twitter, he's all over the internet everywhere. He sent me a tweet, and I'm retweeting it right now. You guys can follow me on Twitter at @AvoidThePuddle, and I retweeted it right now. It's an old article that Seth Killian wrote about balance in fighting games. And it's really, really good. It's like a brilliant article. It's very good. It involves the comparison between chess, and it's really great. I highly recommend that everyone checks that out if you're interested in, fighting game balance and that aspect of the development of fighting games, because it's super fucking well written and it's inspirational. So I highly recommend it. He makes a lot of comparisons to Street Fighter, of course, and chess and all kinds of stuff. So really cool. Anyway, I guess that was our questions and answers, right? That shit took like 15 minutes. Does anyone else have a question? Real quick, make it snappy before we call people bitches.
Private webcam scratch? Why did it say scratch?
I don't know what that means. Ooh, I gotta click that. I went by.
Private webcam scratch?
I don't even know what that means. Oh, serious question. Assuming... Oh, God, it's moving too fast.
Oh, come on, hurry up.
I'm trying to get it. Hold on.
Dude, come on, start reading, dude.
You just say stuff.
I am. That's what I'm here for. Even though even though you're the one talking all the time.
Shut up.
Oh my God! Look, play Injustice, bitch, and you'll win majors. What's your favorite item on the McDonald's dollar menu?
I don't really eat at McDonald's. I think it's... I eat there on occasion, but never on my own. I've never gone, I could go for some McDonald's. But sometimes you're in Japan and there's like nothing to eat but fucking fish. So what are you going to do? You got to eat McDonald's, Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. How many times did you bang the granny at Super Arcade? If you're talking about the one that digs through the trash all day, I lost count. Unlimited, infinite times, dude. Yeah, she's a dreamboat.
Yeah. Did she
Anyway.
get a? Last time I talked, or I didn't even talk to her. Last time you talked to
I'm
her,
the only
that I
one that
saw.
talks to her. I'm the only one that's nice to her, dude. And you know the thanks I get? I'm nice to her, and the thanks I get is, hey, I heard Aris is fucking the hobo at Super Arcade. That's what I get. The only guy that talks to the hobo with no teeth at Super Arcade that digs through the trash, and as soon as you talk to her, like, all I go is, hey, Mindy, how's it going? Oh, Aris is fucking her. They're going to be 69ing later in the bathroom. You know, if you talked to her, Ricky, I would have done the same shit. So that's the way of the world. It has to happen that way.
She doesn't
Anyway,
even have teeth.
yeah, she doesn't. Oh, she got teeth recently.
Did she finally get teeth?
Yeah, she got teeth.
Good for her.
Yeah, I know. She looks fantastic. It's amazing. It added like at least, I don't know, couple years to her life. Whew. Anyway, so you got someone to call a bitch today?
Not really. I guess I can call you a bitch.
Why?
What the hell is up with all that book reading stuff, dude? What is this? What are you, fucking Oprah? Like, why are we talking about books?
Man. You know, there's a reason why it took you like 15 years to win a Wednesday Night Fights. You know? You are so uncultured. I mean, just
I don't
read.
need. Come on, dude. I don't need to read books.
You know how I know you don't
think
read
any
books?
of those New York Tekken players read books?
Yeah, well,
They don't know how to read.
All right. Well, maybe
You guys are cool. New
maybe
York.
maybe books aren't for everybody. It's not my birthday. I agree. Ricksta is a bitch. And at this point in the show, I don't know if you know, but when I tell Ricky to call someone a bitch, it's also your turn too. So whoever you think is a bitch right now, you can feel free to call him a bitch. Anyone. Jedi Rob for not paying me for Devastation 2000 and what was it, Ricky?
6?
Still haven't gotten that. I hope I'm next in line because I know Rip has been recently getting payments for that. So I better be fucking next in line because I got a rent to pay.
Those payments might have been like the hush hush money payments.
I don't give a fuck what they were. That guy needs to,
Pay us.
Be a man. Yeah, us. He needs to be a man of his word. You know, I went all the way to his tournament and enjoyed myself and made second place. Narrowly avoiding you. It wasn't narrow. Very easily avoiding you. Anyway, he needs to pay us. So that's one guy you could call a bitch. Or anyone else whom you think is a bitch.
Who's your bitch other than Jedi Rob?
Other than Jedi Rob, I mean, I don't really need to call Just Frame James a bitch, even though he fucked me up yesterday, because, you know, it's a work in progress, and soon enough I will be fucking ruining his bunghole 24/7, just like anyone else. So I don't really need to call him a bitch. But I don't know who else is a bitch these days. Jeez, there's a ton of people, but you know it's hard to remember at the moment.
Even the chat's running out of bitches.
Yeah, I know. They're so uninspired, man. Come on, someone's a bitch. GM is one of those for sure.
Charles Black is a bitch for winning your stick.
Yeah, he's definitely a
good.
bitch. I can't believe that.
Good.
Run It Black, the king of fucking trolls, he signs up as a subscriber, gets a cat face, and that day ends up winning a stick. It's unbelievable. God knows, internet. The last person I want to give an arcade stick to is that clown. But he won it fair and square, so he has yet to collect his stick. It's in my trunk waiting for you, playa. Everyone's just like, unsubscribed. Fuck this. Anyway, so yeah, I got one more to give away. One more stick to give away on that. Yeah, Run It Black is definitely a bitch. Mike Watson is a bitch. Alex Valle is definitely a bitch. 150% because he makes those ridiculous jokes that make everyone so uncomfortable. I mean, for sure. Valla's weirdo jokes are for sure getting him a bitch calling. Thoth, that guy is for sure a bitch for being the king of trolls. Yeah, you know it. You know it. You know it. He's the king of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know it. The Injustice crowd, they're all bitches because I can't wait for them to finish ironing out that fucking game so I could try it out again and hopefully like it to whoop all their asses again because I had so much fun when I was playing that game. That game was very enjoyable. and it
Do you
was.
know like
Go ahead.
when their last patch is gonna be? Because I mean, they're gonna make. Isn't this next patch supposed to be like they're like trying to make Lobo a lot better and stuff?
From what I hear from those guys like Emperor Theo and all those guys, the patch is going to be a final patch, and it's going to be a huge patch, and coming out really soon. That's all I've heard. There are no.
So it's supposed to be it's guaranteed to be the final patch or what?
That's what they said. I haven't been, unfortunately, I haven't had time to go on Test Your Might, but, I heard that they're making a shitload of changes to that game. I heard that they're going to nerf the fuck out of Black Adam and Superman, which I'll believe it when I see it, but I heard that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to trying it out. I believe that the people making the game are capable of pooping out a good product. They just need to believe in themselves and not fuck up and not listen to a bunch of jobbers on the internet or fucking a bunch of Tom Brady's or, perfect legends. They need to listen to themselves and produce a work that is that shows what they envisioned themselves. So hopefully that happens. Grand Theft Auto. You were asking me if I'm gonna buy it. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but if it's cheap, I'll try it out.
I mean, I'm sure I'll stream it once I buy it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Dude, I streamed. I streamed like Sunday or something.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What game?
Tekken.
Dude, I should have totally played you and fucked you up and talked shit in the chat. Turned the tables on your dumb ass.
You would have loved that, huh?
Yeah. Do you have like a webcam and everything too when you stream?
Nah, I turn it off.
What do you use? OBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's hella easy. Anyway, so I think that's gonna wrap things up. But before I do that abrupt cutoff shit that I always do in the end, I want to go ahead and say that I submitted my emoticons again. I'm waiting for Twitch's bootlegging plant to approve them and implement them. But as you can see, we have a bunch of cat facers in the chat. Huge thanks for subscribing and watching. And what else, Ricky? Do you have anything to plug? What's your stream called?
Oh,